Okay guys, I am going to be doing a whole house, almost whole house declutter with me because I have found I have been through stages of my adulthood where I've had more and less items. And often when I am feeling overwhelmed in my life, there is either too much stuff on my calendar, which there has been lately, but a number of different things have just ended here at the end of June, so I'm feeling good as far as that goes. But sometimes there's just too much on my calendar, or there is too much stuff in my house. And because the calendar part is working out, I need to do some decluttering. There are a few areas in my house where I want to do like a full specific this space declutter. So I'm not really going to be focusing on this today / in the next few days. I'm assuming this will take me a few days, but there might be one or two things I grab from those sections and then like do a full focus on those. But there are a number of things throughout my entire house that when I look at, I'm like, yeah, I probably don't need to keep that. And we're starting in my office because there's like some things I'm very embarrassed about in here. So I did a short last week cleaning out my office a little bit. It was just like post-filming cleanup. One of the things I moved around in there is this box. Now this box, plus there's another box, I'll get it too. Plus this box have been in my office for over a year. I think this box arrived February of last year. I haven't even opened it. And I can tell you what they are, like I know what they are. So I'll tell you here shortly. But one of the things, years ago I read the Birth Order book by Kevin Lehman. I actually want to reread it. It's up here on my shelf just out of view. But I've read the term overwhelmed perfectionist. It was the first time I'd heard that term. It often firstborns are perfectionists, or they're like really messy, and it's partly because they're just overwhelmed. And that is what has happened with these boxes, and that has happened with my life. So this is why I know that decluttering helps get rid of the overwhelm, and then I feel better. And one area that I feel like I've been slacking lately is my photo books. I shared a video a year or two ago, I don't remember when, talking about some like memory keeping, different ways you can do memory keeping, and I have nice photo books that I like. And then I got overwhelmed because too many years went by. The last time I did a photo book was 2014. And so I started doing photo albums. And so that's what this box is. This is pictures for 1 or 2 years. I can't remember. That part, I don't remember. And then the big box is photo albums, or 1 or 2, I don't know. I started doing photo albums for different years. And I realized I want to go back to the photo books aspect. It's better, they're smaller, they're easier to flip through, the kids go through them more often. So that's what I want to do. So I don't even want to go through these pictures really. I just kind of want to thrift these, or thrift them. That would be really awkward. Family photos at a thrift store. I mean, recycle them and thrift the photo albums. So what I've learned is that I want to do smaller photo books. Try not to get overwhelmed. I just need to set some time aside for that. Okay, that was a long-winded intro, but now we're going to declutter, and I'm going to share some tips and hopefully some inspiration and some embarrassing things maybe as we go. So you can either feel free to declutter along with me, or watch this for some inspiration and then declutter afterwards, or just watch it and then never declutter your house. That's totally fine with me too. So let's get this full house-ish declutter started. This is a stack of books that I wanted to get rid of, except this one. I don't want to get rid of this one. So that's a good start. Also, we'll probably notice this as we go, but I have a problem with keeping boxes from electronics. I need to make sure there's nothing in here I need to keep, and then I just need to get rid of the box. Why is it here? Also, I have a bit of a pen obsession. Those are staying though. Okay, it's time to show you inside one of the worst cupboards in my kitchen. One of those embarrassing you hope people don't open it when they come over kind of spots. And I do need to do a whole kitchen declutter yet, and that will involve pulling everything out and analyzing what's in there, what needs to go. But I knew there was one item that I wanted to get rid of in here that was spread throughout. So that's what I'm working on here, is getting all the pieces, which were all over. But this definitely made me realize that there's more in this cupboard that needs to go. So I will be doing an entire kitchen cupboard declutter in the near-ish future. I need to do an entire kitchen declutter yet, but I knew I wanted to get rid of these pops, like homemade popsicle things. They look great, but they're way too big for popsicles. We have another set that doesn't look as nice, but the size is much better, more manageable. These are too big. Then I found an IKEA napkin holder I never use, and some random pressure cooker utensils that I also never use. And then a few years ago, I bought, not that you can really see them here, they're like little reusable freezy bag type things, but you can only get them clean to a point, so I'm gonna just toss these. Now we're gonna tackle my homeschool cupboards. I went through these not too long ago. They're not that bad, actually. The first one I didn't find anything to get rid of, but I knew there was probably a few things that, due to life circumstances and stuff, we could get rid of now. Some of the stuff in here is obviously my kids' stuff, some of it is mine, and I did find a couple of things that we could get rid of or we were done with. And I was kind of purposely trying to not clean as I went because I figured it would take longer to declutter, but there was a little bit of cleaning, organizing happening. And then another embarrassing spot, I have too many cloths and towels and things, and so it was time for me to go through them. I knew there was things to get rid of in here, and for whatever reason, because it was just a mess, I didn't actually get rid of stuff until this intentional going through of the closet. So these are mostly like stained cloths that I don't like. This Norwex cloth, I've actually found something that works a lot better, which is surprising because Norwex is amazing. And also these Norwex ones are just completely worn out. And apparently COVID tests. I think we're done testing. I have a bit of a habit of collecting jars, just in case I need them. I can find it really hard to get rid of items that I think I'm going to be using in the future, but to be honest, a lot of these jars have been sitting here and haven't been used, and so I just made the decision to get rid of a good portion of them. Still kept some so that I don't have that like worry that I'm going to need a jar as soon as I get rid of them all, but it looks better now. There's less just hanging out, taking up space for no reason. So decluttering day 1 went really well. We're on to day 2. I'm going to start by decluttering some plants. I had started trying to propagate some and then realizing that you're not supposed to let cats eat these ones, so I really want more of them. I think it's like an English ivy or some kind of ivy thing. And then I got a plant from a friend that needs some help. I'm gonna try to put into a different pot. I don't really have a big one except an outdoor one, so I'm gonna try to do it outside, or I'm not sure what I'm gonna do there. But then I have some other plants that I think I'm just gonna toss because they're not worth my time. And part of decluttering is finding out what things are worth your time. And for instance, I kind of hate spider plants. This guy is like, he's dried out because I stopped watering him, because even when you are watering them, they always look terrible. Honestly, like the edges are always brown, and I have other plants that I like more, so I'll just have more of those. So I'm gonna declutter some plants now, and then we'll declutter some other things. Also, I'm wearing a dress, which I feel like when you're working around the house and decluttering, a dress is a weird thing, but this is like the most comfortable article of clothing that I own. It's like 10 years old. I pretty much don't wear it outside of the house anymore because it's on its last legs, but you guys, it's so comfortable. I used to wear it all the time when we would travel. This was my like driving dress because it's so comfy to sit in. I would like set up tents in this dress. I'm gonna be so sad when the day comes and I just have to throw it in the garbage because I've worn it through. But let's start day 2 of decluttering. So this plant was actually a little bit more difficult to work with than I thought going in. It was so stuck in its pot. The roots had grown through and around, like through the holes and around. I ended up actually getting a scissor and having to cut the pot off because I could not pull it out at all. So I ended up just switching the pots that my monstera plants were in. I'm not really smart when it comes to plants, but I do enjoy them. I enjoy how they make my house look, and I know this one just needed more space. Hopefully between the things that I've done here will be enough to help it kind of perk back up, and then hopefully putting my plant into a smaller pot doesn't hurt it too much. I also gave it a good dose of rainwater, and then we went inside and I used my amazing plant food that I got from Amazon. I'll leave that linked below. It works really well. It smells like the cross of a dirty diaper and dead fish, but it really helps to perk up plants. So like I said before, I wanted to get rid of some plants, and I made some choices here. Got rid of my spider plants that I didn't really like anyway, and then some other plants that I had higher up. And I'm realizing if plants are like out of reach, it's harder for me to have the motivation to water them, so I need to make sure they're more easily accessible. The drawers in my office desperately need to be cleaned out, and I have a little helper here with me, so some little hands are going to attempt to help. My drawers and my desk were just a disaster. A lot of the stuff in the one drawer I use and want to keep, but I just throw things in there and make it really disorganized. And the other one, I got rid of a lot of stuff. I think when you can't see the mess, sometimes it's easier just to keep it around. here's the stuff that I'm decluttering. Never mind all the stuff that I threw out. There was stuff to throw out, and this is just like an overview of like most of my house. This is not a deep dive. I didn't really clean out a lot of places, like little spots, yes, but I need to do the toys. I need to do the kitchen, and I know I need to do more. I need to do my closet again. I'm not sure if it's as bad as it looks, but a lot of the stuff that's in there right now is winter stuff. So I need to move that because we're definitely in summer. So this is just a overall decluttering of my house. Once I get this stuff to the thrift store, there will be less stuff in my house and I will feel like I'm ready to move on a bit. Everything should feel a little bit lighter, and then I think I'll feel more prepared to declutter all the other places in my house. So hopefully this has been a bit inspiring, motivating, or just entertaining, whatever it is that you need. Hopefully this was that for you. So there will be more decluttering in the future, and we'll see you guys soon.